Dang it, man.
I was building the suspense.
I was trying to hold it in. I almost shit on myself. I almost shot a little whopper out my butt, man.
Hopefully we'll be able to clip some of this stuff. So yeah, you got to have a why. And I feel like when you're 21 years old, maybe you don't have children, that's why you're partying. But as soon as you have kids, you'll probably agree with this. Like your why just comes in crystal clear, right?
Yes.
Because you want to build a family, you want to build financial freedom, you want to build a lifestyle, but you also want to leave a legacy. And so now you have a purpose.
Breaking news. Yo, let me tell you, I got somebody dope on the podcast today. Nate Goldstein, okay? TikTok extraordinaire, okay? Christian Mingles only. No, I'm joking.
Oh,
man, I got so much to talk about today. We want to get right into it. Welcome to the Sitrep podcast. Today, I got a special guest, my brother Nate, okay? Number one, man, I first and foremost, I really appreciate you coming out, out of your busy day. I never had a social media influencer on my podcast. You're actually the first one. Okay.
Very cool.
So I want to talk about how you started your Theater Monster business. So let me talk to you first. Let me tell y'all the story first. So there I was, right? I had just bought a really nice small property out in wine country. And then I saw the truck riding around.
Right.
This,
this big monster
this
on
big
it, right?
monster on it, right?
Yep.
Called Theater Monster. How did you come up with that logo and how did you start that business?
So, well, two parts, right? Got to start with the business. So I originally had started doing car audio systems when I was 16 years old. Worked for a car audio company. I was doing cars. Did that for a couple of years and then decided I did not want to be cramped up underneath the dash of a car anymore.
Right.
I wanted to do bigger and better stuff. Even the most awesome car you could imagine, like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, you can only pack so much into that car, right? In a home, you could be 10, 20,000 square feet. You can get into commercial buildings. You can do really big stuff, make a lot of money.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do. So I decided to get my contractor's license and I decided to go out and do homes. So then enter Theater Monster. Came up with the name, Theater Monster, catchy name. The logo itself is a monster guy built into a TV. And that's kind of what the idea was, right? So this Theater Monster, it's kind of like the guy inside or behind the scenes, So that's how the idea came about.
Kind of sort of like Poltergeist, maybe, right?
Maybe a little bit like that, yeah. But obviously you want something catchy. Green is a color that pops, kind of fits with monsters, fit with what I was trying to do with the theme. And that's kind of just the logo and the branding of it all. But I don't know if there was really any genius behind it, but maybe it turned out to be something that is really cool. I mean, people see those vans all over town, constantly sticks with them. They love it. So I get the best marketing ever is not, believe it or not, from men in their 40s or anything like that actually buy my product. You know what it's from? It's from 8-year-old kids. I'll be driving on the freeway or the guys are driving on the freeway in the van. And what do you think those kids are doing? They're pointing out the window. Mommy, Dad, look at that van. Look at, right? So they're looking at it. They're forced to. So it's more like, hey, Dad, look at that. Okay, I see it. And now I remember it. So that's kind of where the genius was in it, because that monster character is everything that every kid likes. And now, you're forced to look at it as a dad, and then you're going to remember it. So
that's what caught that. I actually took a picture of what's funny is I saw your vehicle years ago and I took a picture of it and then I lost it. But then when I saw it again, I'm like, that's the guy. So I called you up. I got 3 references and I'm going to tell you, man, you're one of the best things that I like about what you do in your business is that you show up. Okay.
Of course. I mean, you have to, right? Especially in a home service business.
That's okay. So how long did it take you to get your momentum going within that business?
God. So I started the company in early 2007 and we are a luxury audio video integrator. And in 2008, everything went to crap. So that was a really rough time, obviously being a luxury company, selling something that people don't necessarily need. Mm-hmm. People are worried about putting groceries in their, food on the table, right?
Right.
And we're trying to sell TVs and home theaters and stereo systems, and people just didn't need that kind of stuff. So It was a really rocky road until about 2011. 2011, I feel like things started to recover a bit, and then we landed a really good client and did a really big home theater for him. and then word started spreading. A lot of my business came from word of mouth back in the beginning. And so it's still, a lot of it still does come from word of mouth, but we've reached a point to where we kind of have the brand recognition now. But in the beginning, it was mostly the word of mouth thing. So it took off from there. And then in 2011 to where we are today, we've just kind of grown exponentially.
Now, so from cars to, how did you get into, why was there any type of training that you had to go through to learn how to do, did any of the car stuff translate into doing home theater?
Yeah, so a lot of it actually did, like the audio system portion of it. And even back then, what was big in cars was doing TVs and headrests and TVs and dashes and things like that. So we used to do a lot of video systems in that as well. So the TVs got bigger when you got into homes and the stereo systems got bigger, but it's basically the same stuff. I mean,
Okay.
It transfers over pretty well.
Now, how many vehicles do you have on the road with your marketing logos on there?
Right now we got 3
Okay.
just in Southern California.
And I've seen that thing everywhere. It seems like, oh, that's Theater Monster, that's Theater Monster, which is pretty cool. So now after following COVID, your business exploded. So how, you're an entrepreneur as well. So you do, like, when I talked to you at my house last time, you talked about real estate. I didn't know that you were a contractor. Like, how did you get into all of that other stuff?
Yeah, so that was like a culmination of the years in the trades. So I started doing home theater stuff, and naturally we were doing electrical work, and we got into building these really large custom home theaters. And when we were building these theaters, we were doing all of the trades: cabinets, flooring, framing, drywall, everything, right? So we got into a point to where homeowners like yourself might be asking me, like, hey, you're in here doing all this bitchin' work in my theater. I love what you're doing. Can you remodel my kitchen?
That makes sense.
Can you do my flooring downstairs and carry that same floor throughout my house? So naturally, it just kind of progressed into that.
Okay.
After that, what had happened was I had an opportunity to get my contractor's license. So I got an RMO, which is an addition, and it's a general contractor, or any other contractor for that matter, that will be willing to sign on your license with their license on your behalf. So basically, you create a new corporation, and an existing contractor can put his license on your license.
Okay.
So that's how I got my first GC license. From that point, then I started building houses and doing other stuff. Once I got all that experience, I started thinking to myself, why don't I do my own stuff? Why don't I get my own rental properties or my own properties? Why don't I fix them up myself? Why don't I do my own fix and flips? Why don't I make some money doing that? So it kind of just, one thing rolled into the other, and I feel like I just kind of hit the right path and was lucky in a lot of stuff, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, there might have been some targeted aspects to the things that I was doing, but everything fell into place.
Now, one thing that I like about, one of the main reasons why we even had this conversation, because you was holding out, all right?
I held out on you a little bit.
So it's crazy because I had no idea, but I did like the attention to detail. So in any type of business, the fundamental part is people will never forget how you make them feel. And the way that you flawlessly did everything within my house, like my theater system is crazy. Everybody comes over, they love it. I have music in my fire pit, music in my pool, I have music in my outdoor kitchen, and that the way you set it up, it goes all the way to the basketball court, and it goes through the entire house. I like that so much that I'm like, I kind of want to know this guy, man. He seems like a pretty cool dude, man. So when I found out that you did real estate, that led us to here, right?
It did.
It's kind of crazy because I kind of feel like if I wouldn't have had that conversation with you, why did you wait? That's what I want to know.
So not every client is the client you tell everything about your life to. So we'll get into some projects. Sometimes I'll touch on, hey, what do you do, for instance, while I'm there working at your project or working at your house, and just make small talk and find out what it is that you do. Maybe some of the things that we do align, maybe they don't, but maybe you're a doctor or surgeon, whatever it is that you do. I try to pick up information from a lot of people. Typically, the people that we work for are pretty well off. So if I can extrapolate some information from each person and then add it to my knowledge base, that's kind of how I grow my mindset and grow my knowledge and find out what more people are doing. So I found out what you were doing. one of the things that really hit me about you was that right during the time that we were finishing up your job, you told me, hey, I'm in talks with Grant Cardone.
Oh, yes.
Right? So one of the things during the time that I was doing the system for you, why are you smiling at me?
I'm just waiting on you.
You were smiling. All right. I could see like a smirk building, and it was toxic, toxic, man.
Okay.
All right. So during the time we were finishing up that system for you at your house, you had started discussing with me that you were in talks with possibly having Grant Cardone bring you on board for your 10X thing.
Yes.
Right? For your 10X vets. That really intrigued me right there. Not that I really wanted to piggyback on you or do anything, but it really, for me, was something where I thought, hey, man, this guy is going to be connected to Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone is somebody that I look up to. And I see his videos on social media, and I think this guy's really doing it big, right? So for me to even be like 2 or 3 people removed from Grant Cardone seemed super cool to me. So I didn't know that at the moment I may have had anything to offer you, but I wanted to see where that went. And I was really rooting for you. I was hoping that you guys were able to make that deal come together. After I had met with you about a month or 2 later, and you told me, yeah, it's a done deal. Like, I'm on board. I'm with Grant. We're doing the 10X vets thing. I came to you and I told you, hey, man, I've been holding out on you.
God dang it, man.
I was building the suspense.
I was trying to hold it in. I almost shot a little whopper out my butt, man.
Hopefully we'll be able to clip some of this stuff together.
So
I'm trying to pick up where I was, but
yeah, you were talking about how you could be a part of what it is that we're doing with.
Right. So after you told me that you had actually brought on board with Grant Cardone for the 10X Vets thing, I told you, hey, I've been holding out on you. And you said, what do you mean by that? So I told you, hey, I've got this TikTok. I've been building it for a couple of years, not really doing a whole lot with it at the moment, but it's geared specifically towards real estate investing, and I think that I could be help for you. I could probably promote your 10X Vet stuff to my following. And so that's where we started talking about this. So I have this channel called Grown Up Shit on TikTok, where I teach people about how to do grown up shit, right? And I feel like that probably plays really well into the 10X Vets things, because what would you say the average age is of a homeowner, first-time homeowner coming out of the Army?
More than likely, like people that in the service, usually they will typically buy their first property in their beginning in their 30s.
Okay. Do you think that they know all the answers at that age?
Absolutely not.
So that's where you come in, right?
Yes.
So the 10X Vets, and even what you're doing before that, is educating these vets on how to use the VA loans, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
How to buy property.
Oh, now we're going to get into this, man. Hey, professional in the front and party in the back. That's the mullet style, baby. So let's get to it. I want to unpack this thing. So
let's do it.
So when you told me about this grown up thing, and I looked it up, I was blown back, but I did not expect anything less than that from you, because when you start talking about real estate, you knew so much about it. I'm like, this guy knows a lot more than he puts on, right? So one of the main reasons why you were here is not because, you have a professional business. I like doing business with people that I know, like, and trust. So when I was all sketchy and nervous about, you were there at the house when I was actually talking to staff members about getting this partnership, and then now with us creating 10X Vets, which is, let me tell you what 10X Vets is, by the way: personal professional development for military spouses. Buy or build a business as a veteran, okay, utilizing the 10X brand, and then also the VA loan masterclass. So mastering the VA loan to become a real estate investor and business person. And then with your platform and TikTok and everything that you know and your experience as a GC, general contractor, Grant Cardone. Mic drop. I kind of feel like we definitely could be complementary to each other.
Absolutely. So when I found out that you were doing this to help out vets, I thought naturally I should probably get you on my channel, not only to help promote what you're trying to do, but also to get that information out to the people that need to hear it. Because if these vets don't know all the information on how to start a business, how to buy their first house, how to go about doing any of this stuff, then maybe they'll drop by my TikTok. Maybe they'll find us on YouTube,
Yep.
Instagram, your channel. But the real goal is to push the information out in as many channels as possible. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this with you.
Well, I appreciate that, man, because I suck at TikTok. So
You know,
I'm
I
getting
feel like
there.
I'm not the greatest at TikTok either.
How did you come up with the, what made you start this movement? Like when did you sit down and you say, I'm going to start, this channel and then I'm going to push this in? Did you start with TikTok or did it come with an idea?
I started with TikTok. And so it was really simple when I came up with it. I didn't know that it was going to be what I have planned for it to be as of today. But when I started it out, I thought what I was going to do is I was going to create this channel called Grown Up Shit. The name just kind of came natural to me. But the initial idea was to educate people on the things that I was doing and potentially just learn together, because I don't have all the answers either. So I thought, I'm doing some real estate stuff. I'm doing some flips. I'm doing some rental properties. Let me put some little tidbits of information out there on TikTok, call it Grown Up Shit, let other people know, hey, this is how I'm doing it. I don't have all the answers, but if I can do it, you can do it, and learn together with me. I figured by doing that, I could build a following of like-minded people. They were interested in what I was doing, and therefore they were trying to do the same thing that I was doing and start on a small level, just like I was. Now, I kind of spiraled it into thinking, hey, if I could build this following of these like-minded people on TikTok, then potentially if they want to do what I'm doing and I have a property that I'm flipping or a property that I just rehabbed, I could push it out to my TikTok group, and wherever they are in the country, if they're interested in investing, maybe they could buy one of these properties off of me. If it's a rental property, I'm trying to sell something, or we're going to partner together. If I'm looking for partners, I could find people that want to partner with me. And what better way to do it than through social media, right? There's really no cost involved. We can make person-to-person contact, and we can actually do stuff on a greater scale. So that was the main idea behind it.
That's crazy, man. So now, the last conversation that we had was you are actually making this a company. How far along are you on with that process?
So Grown Up Shit LLC is a real thing now.
All right, dog.
Yeah, Grown Up Shit is incorporated. We're an LLC, and we're gonna take it a little bit bigger. I've got some affiliates with Property Radar is a big one of mine now. So Property Radar basically wants me to make posts for them.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. They recently used one of my TikTok videos that I made maybe 2 years ago, and a friend of mine actually just sent me a screenshot this morning, saw it on Facebook. He said, hey, this is your video on Property Radar's Facebook. I'm like, oh, shit.
That's insane.
So I made this 2 years ago before I was even an affiliate with him. A couple other things like that I naturally do is when I'm talking about rental properties and how I acquire loans for them, I'll talk about the types of loans that I use. For instance, DSCR loans. Well, I have lenders that want to pay me to send them my leads. Well, I might as well name drop and tell you where you can get your DSCR loans, same loan that I'm using. And if I can make a little bit of money on the back end, so I will. But that's just a couple of the ways that I was able to monetize Grown Up Shit. But monetization wasn't the main factor behind it ever or whatsoever.
It was getting the information out.
It was just getting the information out. And that's really all I ever cared about. And that's really all I do care about. And if you look at my TikTok right now, you will not see a bunch of videos that are just specifically made towards these affiliates. I, in fact, don't even make them. If it's natural, it's natural. If it's not, it's not. I really don't make specific videos saying, oh, I'm going to make this one just for my affiliate, just to make money. It's not really what it's about. Right now, how much are you paying me?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. I don't even care about money. Like, I mean, I care about money, but like, I don't care about making money off of this.
And see, I want to say something with this. You know, the reason why I like this is because, and the reason why I'm in alignment with what you're doing is because, you know, if you focus on helping people, the money will come, right?
Absolutely.
So you think about this, the manifestation of creating Grown Up Shit, sharing information out, posted a video a year ago, getting a big contract with a big distributor, and then now that's led to you getting additional money. You planted those seeds by doing one fundamental thing, and that's helping people.
Absolutely.
Right? And you already have when I talked to you before, and I kind of feel like, you know, the reason why we started this whole thing is because we wanted to make sure that veterans own the home that they defended their life for, you know.
Absolutely.
And when I look at what you're doing, it's the exact same thing. You want to help people get in a position to know things so they know how to navigate through things, and then encourage them that it can be done is what I like most about it. And now all of the fruits of your labor is coming to fruition.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
It's pretty rewarding, actually. I mean, it makes me feel good knowing that the information that I put out there is actually being heard and hopefully helping people. There's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet, and I get criticized of it as well. I mean, when you have 100,000 people following you, people are going to talk shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking shit. I'm talking grown-up shit.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm just trying to shower you with the information that I have, and I only know so much. That's why I need to talk to people like you,
Right.
so that I can get more information. I can put more valuable content on the platform just to get it out there to more people.
Now, how long have you been doing TikTok?
So the first TikTok I ever made was for grown-up shit, and that was about 2 years ago. I'd never had a TikTok before. I never even really knew anything about it, and I started with 0 followers. And I didn't follow a single person as far as friends and family. I just started this TikTok up, and I said, I'm going to put some content out there. Within probably the first week, I made a singular video that went viral, and I think it has about 3 million views or so.
Insane.
And what happened was the video, I posted it, and for like the first day, I think while the TikTok algorithm was just picking it up, nothing really happened. It had maybe like a couple of likes or something like that. The next day I woke up and I had like 10,000 followers within a day or something. It was pretty incredible. And then I would check my inbox, and I don't know if TikTok still does it like this, but the inbox back then used to be like a little heart, and it used to say 99 plus. That's how many notifications you have. And so I would check that, and I would clear it out, and I'd put my phone down for, I kid you not, 5 seconds, and I'd refresh it, and it would say 99 plus. Like, that's how many people were hitting the video with comments, likes, and follows.
Insane.
Just every 5 seconds, there'd be 100 or 200 new comments, likes, or follows. So from that point, I was like, well, maybe what I'm doing is really picking up on people, like really, really resonating with some people. So I should probably continue to make some videos. From that point, every video that I've made is probably had 40, 50,000 views on it. Like, pretty good traction on a lot of those videos.
That's crazy, man.
And I really don't feel like the video quality that I'm putting out was very good. I was just kind of doing a first person video straight to the camera, talking about what I felt like talking about, just to get the information out. But I hope to get more professional content on there so that I can, maybe look the part a little more on the platform, as well as bringing in some guest speakers that can also share more information like yourself.
That's insane, man. Well, I'll be more than happy to be your first guest. We gonna rock out on this on this VA loan stuff, because I today I just did, I know a lot of things about wealth as well, and I kind of feel like, you ever feel like you were a eagle in the cage? That's
Yes.
kind of where Instagram, I'll be able to figure that out. And right now I'm getting around 500 people. And I've had a couple of videos go semi-viral, 50,000, 60,000. But this gives me encouragement, because I've only been on TikTok for almost a year now.
Right.
So this is my second year on TikTok. So this inspires me to give. I have the content, I have everything else, but I'm getting in the process to become more. Right now, working with, since my staff has been showing me what I needed to do, I've doubled my followers. So it's good to know that this gives me confidence to know that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, just for my own knowledge, why don't you tell people why they should follow you?
Okay. You should follow me because I know an extensive amount of information on how to build wealth for veterans, utilizing the VA home loan benefit and complementary to pension plans in publication 560 in the IRS code, and how to build your kids into real estate off of the first property that you buy. So these are things that I've been doing since 1998. So the position that I'm in today has put me in a position to open up a business from one purchase. right? So I kind of feel like if I know beyond a reasonable doubt that wealth is not built just by one thing. A lot of people believe that they work, they go to school, they go to college, get a college education, and then that college education is going to make them wealthy, right? It's a combination of things, to include real estate in the business and structuring those the correct way, because those two things print money, and then your pension plans and your life insurance to lower your taxable income, and a trust to protect it all, right? And that makes the fist.
Yes.
So I feel like that information on its face will encourage people to look into alternative things besides just working, because in order to do that, active income, they're going to have to work to make the money to invest. Well, there's also a blind side to that, right? If you're not investing money into these plans, you can't make any more money. So getting a piece of real estate and diversifying their whole portfolio helps them scale a lot faster.
Absolutely.
Right? Wow.
You teach all that on your channel?
I do.
All right.
I do.
So then they should absolutely follow you.
I appreciate that. And I kind of feel like, I feel like we're in a line. I'm excited to be able to share what I know and what I've built, so I'll be Ebony, you'll be Ivory, brother. I'm building this thing out, right? Yeah. I am Ebony, he is Ivory.
I'm not going to attempt to sing.
So, what is the best way to reach you? How can people reach out to you? I want both sides, the Theater Monster business and then also Grown Up Shit.
So all the platforms at Theater Monster, all the platforms at Grown Up Shit.
Okay. And then what is something that, if you was to give yourself advice, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 39.
39. If you was to give yourself advice, your 21-year-old self advice, what would it be?
Oh, so start earlier. Number one, just start earlier in whatever it is that you're doing. So stop the bullshit. Stop spending money frivolously. Stop partying. Just get your life together now, because the power of compounding is real.
Yes.
If you could start now at 21 years old or even 18 years old, even on your $300-400 a week salary, whatever it is. I mean, if you start now, God, I would be so much further ahead than I am right now.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, 110%. And then also make sure you have a teammate. Shout out to Mrs. Goldstein. Okay, I want to give a special shout out to her.
Yes.
Thank you for being so awesome, because I did call you. Well, you called me while your husband was at my house, so you was making sure that he was doing what he's supposed to do.
She's great. Yeah, she actually supports the backbone of the whole thing.
That's really cool.
To allow me to do what I do. So, yes, obviously.
Now, I have one last question that I want to ask, and this will close things out. I know you have some babies, right?
I do.
That's who you do everything for, right?
Of course. So, yeah, you got to have a why. And I feel like when you're 21 years old, maybe you don't have children, that's why you're partying. But as soon as you have kids, you'll probably agree with this, like your why just comes in crystal clear, right?
Yes.
Because you want to build a family, you want to build financial freedom, you want to build a lifestyle, but you also want to leave a legacy. And so now you have a purpose.
Yep.
Right? So it becomes a lot easier. Your motivation becomes a lot easier. It's like built-in motivation at that point.
And I kind of feel like who you're doing it for is a complementary to why you're doing it. The who that I'm doing it for is Carson and Anthony. What's your kid's name? You want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, I do it for Gray and Caden.
Okay. So shout out to the kids. I'm getting all emotional. I'm like, ooh. All right, man. Phenomenal podcast, brother. I really appreciate you showing up. And I feel like this is we're building a relationship that's forged in friendship. And I'm thankful to have you on my podcast. It's an honor. And I'm looking forward to see what Grown Up Shit does in the future.
Yeah, man. I'm looking to see if we can pump this thing up.
All right, brother.
All right.
All right, man. You can reach me at anthony10k.com, where we help you win in real estate. And listen, we will be having this come out real soon. Make sure you follow me on all of the social media platforms, anthonysocial.com. And then I'll see you next time. We're out.